Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel and happy Wednesday morning. I hope we're okay. I hope you're right. I hope the day is treating you well. In this video, we're talking transfers. There's a lot of stuff coming out and I want to talk about it, but also at the same point, I want to make sure that we're all aware as to why this is all coming out, okay? So we've got information surrounding Spurs, January moves potentially for an attacker. We've got Bissouma potentially being sold in the summer. We've got Jonathan David updates. We've got Richarlison updates. We've got loads to talk about, loads to get into. So let's start with this quickly. And I believe the reason all of this is coming out is because of the weekend. How do you get people to stop talking about something you don't want to talk about? Bring something exciting to the table. And it's all media spin, you know, all the clubs do it. Spurs are no different than any other Premier League side. They're no different from any world side. Any side that, you know, is going to be in the transfer market towards the higher end, they all do this. Man United are the best at spinning this, right? And they do this to basically get you to stop talking about Chelsea, get you to stop talking about, you know, the Ange and Levy and the squad they go, oh, but look at this exciting thing. Come and have a look at this. And, you know, people then go, oh, that's so exciting. And then they forget that they're actually really annoyed. We're not going to. We are annoyed. And I will make you aware there is a protest on the 22nd before the Liverpool game. Obviously, I think it was released a couple of days ago, but I was busy yesterday, so I wasn't really on Twitter, nor should anyone spend too much time on Twitter. I think there's too many people spend too much time on Twitter. But I saw it. It's a peaceful protest, the 22nd. I believe there's one as well for the game after, I believe. I didn't read that far into that bit. I was only worried about the first bit. But I'm happy that at least if there's going to be one, there's going to be two. And there should be more than two. It should be something that it's not something you do frequently in terms of like every single time, but I think it's something that you can't just do once or twice and expect anything to come from it. There needs to be, you know, a real mindset of what you want it to look like. So, you know, people going, this protest, great, amazing, this, that, and the other. It's like, what are you trying to achieve? Think of an outcome goal and then think of things that go into that. Tick them off as you get to your outcome. It's how you do it with anything in life, right? So hopefully there is a real plan in place. I didn't really see that. We'll see. But yeah, just make you aware, 22nd before Liverpool. There you go. Let's talk about transfers. Come on, let's jump in because there's a lot to talk about. So let's start with Spurs and January and the attacker. Dan Kabach is saying that signing another forward in January transfer window is a priority for Tottenham. So, hey, Bolly, and Spurs, how are you? Sorry. I think a lot of people went, but we need a striker. It's like, wow, strikers aren't forwards anymore. We truly obviously don't know if it's a left winger, right winger, or a striker, right? We don't. We can obviously speculate and pray that it's something that we truly want. If I'm honest, it wasn't the thing that I think about when it comes to this team. I think, you know, we definitely need an attacker. I'm definitely not denying that. But we truly need more defensive reinforcement first, in my opinion. You know, the fact that you've got Ben Davies, who, as much as he does play centre-back now, is a left-back by trade, right? That we can all agree that is factual evidence. He is a left-back that now starts to play a bit of centre-back, but he's not truly a centre-back, right? So we still need at least a left-back then in that regard. What is Jed Spencer's situation? Is he going to play? If he's not going to play, somehow, some way, sell him. There's no point carrying a player that is fit. He's not unhealthy. He's not, you know, injured. Move him on. Replace him with someone that is going to be used. And I think that's the key thing there. Replace him with someone who's going to be used. You know, the contract extension is nothing down to the coaching team. That's down to the higher ups maintaining any value in him. Obviously, the good preseason helps that. But that's not down to the coaching side of things. You know, the fact that you've got, in theory, 3 centre-backs with the fourth being Ben Davies, again, left-back being a centre-back, it's not enough. And I think, look, you're not going to cure all your illnesses in January. You're not going to sign 7 or 8 players in January. The maximum you sign is 3. I think it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2. if it's a priority, and we take this on face value, if it's a priority, I sure as hell hope there's a big list, and they've already been working at this for ages. You know, I don't want to get to January 1st and then go, right, oh, it's January 2nd, because they're probably not even working January 1st. They get January 2nd, they go, right, probably should start, you know, talking to some people. I sure as hell hope they're talking to people now already. You know, not tapping up, but just a few conversations here and there, gauging, you know, hey, what's the situation at your club? You know, what's the situation with, you know, do you reckon your club would be interested in selling that player? That sort of thing. Not tapping up, general chit chats, but keeping contact with agents, right? So you'd hope it's that. Now, if it is obviously an attacker, you know, where is the one weakness against the front three that you'd sit there and say that's a weakness? You'd have to say it has to be striker. We got one fit first team striker because Richarlison's never fit. You know, you got Johnson, and you in theory could say, well, Kulusevski can play right wing. Left wing got Sonny, and you need someone behind him, which obviously we don't. But you know, right, as much as people maybe don't rate him, you do in theory have Werner, right? There's nobody behind Solanke in terms of first teamers. So I'm not even counting Moore and Lancashire in this. I'm just counting out and out first teamers from last season into this season, right? You've got nobody because Richarlison's never fit. So you probably would need a striker, which brings me very nicely in. Talk about Jonathan David, because Sport have said that Spurs have made an important offer to sign Jonathan David for free next summer. For me, I don't see this. Well, I can see it being true because obviously it's a nice cheap signing or what have you. Obviously, you can't, in theory, do that until 6 months before the end of his deal. So, you know, there won't be an offer there. There'll be a chat maybe, but there won't be an offer. I like Jonathan David, maybe as a backup striker. I don't hate that idea. It doesn't rectify and help us now, and that's the issue that we've been really dealing with. We think too much to the future. Oh, look at this! Look at the future, and look at that window, and look at this window. What about now? What about this window? Right this second, in what, 3 weeks' time? This window. You know, if they went, look, we're going to agree a contract with Jonathan David, we're going to see if Lille bite on the bullet and see if they sell him to us. And, you know, maybe you get him for 7 or 8 million, right? Okay, fine. I'm on board. Good negotiating work there. That helps us now as well as the future. But if we're going to sign him for the summer, great. Then we still need another attacker now. So don't think that's done. We need someone now. So let's go and get someone now in this window, right? So again, you're hoping that obviously the effort they're putting in and the list they've drawn up, that is that's one of them, you know. Moving on, Dan Kilpatrick again saying Spurs obviously being short of cover at both the centre-back and left-back. They're looking at a player who could cover both positions, and it may emerge as a priority target in January. That's worrying. You're playing Archie Gray, who's a central midfielder who can play a little bit of right back, and you're playing him at centre back. Why on earth it's May? You're playing him at left back. He doesn't play left back. May. No, it shouldn't be May. It should be that's a priority. We need to get someone who can play left back, at least left back. At least left back. Because at the end of the day, as much as you know, you might like Destiny Doggy, you might not rate Destiny Doggy. If he was to be injured, you have nobody else to play there. Nobody. You know, if Romero gets injured, you can bring a Dragic in. You bring an actual centre back in. You have nobody that plays left back in that squad other than Ben Davies, who's injured. And Ben Davies every single year picks up injuries, and he's getting older. And as you get older, you pick up more and more injuries. You sleep a bit funny, and my neck feels a bit weird. You know, you wake up, my knees are a bit tougher, especially in the winter. It's cold. My knees are a bit tougher. Oh, my ankles. You know, at 20, you're a different beast than you are at 30. You know, finding that out the hard way myself at the moment. Agree about Jed. Hearing now, smelling new coffee. Hey, Baz, mate, how are you? Left back is surely top priority. Well, look, we need to get 10 more players in now. Yeah, we need loads, mate. We need loads. But That'll be the majority, obviously, summer. But for left back, I think it is. I think left back or a left centre back, if they find someone that can play both, fine. For me, I'd obviously rather two different bodies than one. But if you find one player that can do both, I can understand it. I can. Obviously, there are squad spots available in the Premier League side once you move off of Reguilon, which Patrick Dorgu, just saying. I've been on that hype train for as long as anyone else probably has about Dorgu's the guy I want. We talked about Bradley Locko, and I always said that Dorgu was the guy I wanted personally, but we need bodies at left back, left right, left centre back area. Hell, like I said, with Jed Spence, what's going on there? What is going on there? If he's not going to play, like I said, not going to play, move him, sell him, get him gone, bring someone that's going to play in that area. Which, lo and behold, they'll go, oh yeah, that Archie Gray can play a bit of right back because it's cheap. That's what they would do it for, because it's cheap, not because it's the right thing to do. So there you go. Loan, maybe a loan. Defender is key, versatile one. Well, yeah, David Hanko, sorry, at Farnorth. He's a very good left centre back, left back. There's good options. Obviously, the Eredivisie always scares people, doesn't it? A lot of them don't do as well as we all hope for in Premier League for whatever reason. I don't really know why. There are obviously some successes, but yeah, it's a weird one. There's a few left backs that I quite like, but again, it's how much do they want to put down? Because Dorgu's not going to cost 10 million. He's going to cost double that at least, if not more. What about Gutierrez from Girona? It's players like that are talented, but whereas the talent's up here where all the big clubs buy for, we buy about here. Oh, we can't actually get them. Oh, grr. Daniel Levy goes, oh, no, nuts. We couldn't get them. We tried. They basically sent an email saying, hi. And then when the other club responded, they just deleted it. Oh, scared. Let's go deal with this smaller club where we can pinch a player because he's cheap, And there's a reason why he's cheap. The Luton left back. Doherty. Yeah, Luton not doing very well this season, so I don't know how well he's doing. Jonathan Tah, he's Bayern bound in the summer. He's my Solanke, yeah. But yes, there's that on that side of things. So much more to talk about. This is mental. Yeah, to give you an update, by the way, Vicario is expected back in February, so we've still got another 2.5 months of Vic being gone. Are they looking at a keeper in January as well? Don't forget. That's the thing. Another thing is, are we looking at January's keeper? Because if we're looking at a keeper, they're going to want someone that can play now as well as the future. Vic's obviously back a month after this player signs, for example. They're looking. I hope they're looking at a defender and they're looking at an attacker, which means they're not looking at a midfielder. Which, bodies wise, the midfield is good. It's just the irony is you lose Bentancur straight away, which he was such a pivotal part of that midfield. And as much as you've had good performances in Sarr, and he has good performances, Chelsea aside, he has had good performances. Business had good performances. The issue is you can't rotate them. So they're starting to flounder a little bit more because they're playing 3 games in 8 days or 3 games in 9 days. That's why you need that Bentancur. And that's the issue. Once you lose Bentancur, Bergvall, Ange doesn't seem to think he's ready. He can't play Archie Gray in the midfield. And I'm so bored of Spurs fans going, play Archie Gray in his position. Okay, cool. So you playing centre-back or you playing right-back? Because he's the only guy that can bloody do it at the moment because we've got no one else. There's a reason he's not playing midfield. It's not because he's not good enough to play there. It's because he's needed elsewhere because we're that down bad. We've not got another left-back because Ben Davies is out injured or Ben Davies is having to play centre-back. Well, there goes Archie. He doesn't trust Jed Spence, so he's playing right-back as well. And guess what? We're now down to one centre-back, Mickey aside. Archie Gray will be playing centre-back. So that's why. But I'm hoping he will get time in the midfield. I want to see him in there as well. I'm bored of having to explain why he's not playing midfield. I do think we must act, though. Don't mess around if you're... Yeah, exactly. Hope you're well. Spurs are looking at signing left centre back who can play left back, which would kill 2 birds with 1 stone and cheaper. Painful, isn't it? We need a 4-player too. I think we need a 4-player too as well. Tottenham Logic TV. Hope the channel's going well, mate. We do need another forward. We need another defender. We probably need the keeper. I think that's what they'll go for. And in theory, if you bring in another defender, let's say they did play left centre back as well as left back, then you would free up Archie Gray to play in the midfield. And then you can rotate more in that midfield and keep people fresher, or he can play, as much as people want him to see in the midfield. Let's say he does play a few more games at right back. Porro gets a bit more rotation time and rest time. Porro's better for that. You get the Porro that we had last season. A lot better. He's still been decent this year, but he's, a more rested Porro is a more switched on Porro and a better Porro. That's why that rotation is key. Hey, Jazz, how are you? In terms of goalkeeper, surely you have to get a homegrown keeper. Well, this is the thing, right? This is beautiful. I have seen all over Twitter this tiered thing. People going, key player, untouchable, squad player, all this stuff. And the amount of Spurs fans that put Alfie Whiteman and Brandon Austin in sell, it does show a serious lack of knowledge on squad spots. Because if you get rid of them, you're down to like 21 players in your Europa League squad. You're down to actually only 2 keepers and Vic's out injured. So if you lost Porro, you're screwed. Sorry, you lost Forster, you're screwed. I think Archie Gray plays midfield, plays in goal, at that point. Those 2 are needed because of the lack of academy-trained players in this squad. And then people go, what about Moore and Lancashire? Has to be at least 3 years. Those players do not have 3 years. Hence why those 2 guys, that's why Brandon Austin has been given a new deal. We don't know if he's good enough or not. He's just done it because obviously we need them for the European squad. So when you see people that put sell on those 2, take no notice of it by that point, because I always look straight at where's Austin and Whiteman. And if they're in sell, I'm worried about them as fans because they don't understand the European squad, which is really worrying. Doesn't mean I think they're good or bad or amazing or the world's worst player. They're needed because of those European spots. Obviously, don't forget, Oliver Skipp was one of those. Obviously, we sold him. Make sense? There you go. Need 2 quality bodies like that season we signed. Yeah, if we sign players like Bentancur and Kulu, kind of those 2 levels, I'd be happy. But I think Juventus are a little bit more wiser now. That's all I'm going to say. Vic's due in Feb. Well, no, I still think they'll be looking at keeper. They were supposedly always going to look at keeper in the summer. Obviously, thinking Vicario is not going to get a long-term injury. They're looking at a keeper in the summer who can rival Vic, who's, kind of Vic's age, I'd say, that sort of mid-20s, early mid-20s. Obviously, that has been sped up due to the fact Vic's out injured all the way into February. And to be fair, Fraser Forster has not been an issue for us. He has been good. We would have conceded a hell of a lot more if he wasn't in goal. But obviously, he's a lot older. You do need people that are going to be around for the long term. So, it's because in FIFA, there are no score requirements. Absolutely. Absolutely no score requirements. That's all right, Polly. Take care. Sell left wing, not the players, the position. Fair enough. Bit different. I think Steve, probably people would start saying sell this position, that position as well. Right, let's move on. Bissouma time. So Alison Gold saying that Spurs would likely accept a decent bid for Yves Bissouma next summer if it arrived. The interesting, obviously, thing with Bissouma, if we're talking about next summer, because he's not going to go in January, it's going to be in the summer if he does go, is that he will have 1 year left on his contract. Now, will he have the mindset of let's cash in on this? Will he have the mindset of, yeah, all right, I'll move. I'll get them, Spurs help me get the move that I want. Is he have the mindset that, we've had with other players like Eric Dyer? I'm going to run my contract down unless I get an unbelievable move, which obviously Bayern Munich was an unbelievable move. He's now firmly planted on the bench because Kim Min-jae and Upamecano have looked very, very good. I actually watch Bayern quite a lot. I actually quite enjoy watching them. Musiala, by the way, Musiala is just the best player in the world at the moment. It's ridiculous. What he does is twinkle toes. But that's, will Bis do that? I don't know. I don't think we're going to be sitting there going, we're going to get 40 or 50 million for Bissouma. I think you might get 15 to 20. I mean, Højbjerg's deal, I think, totals up to about, 17, 18 million? You'd probably be sitting there saying, well, Bis is going to be... Let's have a look how old Bis will be come summertime. He's born on the 30th of August, 1996. God, he's younger than me. Oh, that's humbling. So he's going to be 29 next season. That is the time that you move on from players, getting that a little bit older in the 20s. So, yeah, I think you would be cashing in time. You'd probably get max 20 million. I think, people would buy Biss. It's not a problem. And look, Biss going to, a League One side, I think he'd be brilliant. But I like Biss. I do like Biss. But mistakes like he made against Chelsea with that sliding tackle is why you can't fully trust and believe in him. Because there's games where you go, oh my God, is he our best six? And there's games you go, oh my God, is he our worst six? And it seems to be there's a lack of in between at times. And if he was a bit more in between, he'd be perfect as a rotation option. But you just can't fully put all your money on him being ready to go at that time. Channel's doing good. Cheers, mate. Learn all the time. They're trying to improve every day. You're a lot more confident in front of the camera than at the beginning. Well done. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I love Biss, but I think he is textbook one of how the Spurs team is. Can be brilliant, but is on and off. Bazar, I agree with you, my friend. I watch lots of Bundesliga as well. Upamecano is prone to his dubious errors. Not as much as used to, though. Not as much as used to. Him and Kim Min-jae have been fantastic. And, there was rumours that Kim Min-jae was on the chopping block a little bit, but he's looked very good, actually. But look, with Biss, I think it might be the right time. I like Biss, but coming towards the end of his 20s, 1 year left on his deal, there's a lot of factors that all line up to saying, yeah, it's time to move on. If you get 15 million, I think you take the 15 million and you go, is Archie Gray ready to be that rotational six with Bentancur? Obviously, Johnny Cardoso in the summer might be there. And I think that Johnny Cardoso's deal is going to be around 20, 25 million. So most of that money will just then go to Cardoso. And I don't hate the idea of Biss goes, Cardoso comes in. I have no issues with that. No issues. Obviously, the 8th spot, I think, is the interesting spot for me. Obviously, you've got Pape. Obviously, Bentancur can play there from time to time. I think Bentancur plays there tomorrow, by the way, against Rangers. I think Bentancur plays the 8, and I think Bissouma would be your 6. But, what happens with Bergvall and Gray? There's that, I'm interested to see what happens with Bergvall for next year, by the way. Business quality on his day, but doesn't do it consistent enough. I researched Cardoso, Brazilian background, but born in the USA, then moved back to Brazil to learn his trade. He looks very good. Yeah, very, very good. I like Cardoso a lot. Statistically, a massive reason why Betis are any good, to be honest. Well, Giovanni Celso as well, obviously scoring goals. Cardoso, Dorgo, Hanko would be 40% of the way to a great win to a summer transfer window. Well, look, I think you maybe could get a Dorgo in the winter. The other two, I don't think you'd get. Or Cardoso, you're getting in the summer anyway, so it won't be him. Hanko, I don't think you get in a January. Right, we're starting great at centre back tomorrow. I'm not saying we would because team news obviously isn't out. I'm just saying if Mickey isn't 100%, I don't know. But, Romero's out for, 6 weeks? Ben Davies is still out injured. If Mickey's not ready to go, then, yeah, Archie Gray's going to be playing centre-back. An interesting player that I see no Spurs fan talk about is Igor from Brighton. I watched Brighton fairly regularly. Last season, he was shocking. Been better this year, but shocking last year. Right, moving on. Still got so much more to talk about, which is always lovely. Sometimes not, but always lovely. Let's talk about Richarlison. So, look, I don't really sit there and listen to everything I see about every single reporter, but there are reports that Richarlison continues to reject moves to the Saudi Pro League. He's not looking to leave Spurs. Apparently, his ultimate goal was to put his injury struggles behind him and play for Brazil at the World Cup. Oh, Richarlison, hang on. His contract expires in the summer of 2027. He has power. He has power in this, Richarlison. Now, obviously, every player has a say in if they want to go or not. You are legally contracted to, Richarlison's case, 2027. You can reject moves. Absolutely. It's not just like FIFA or something like that, like old school FIFA, where you accept a deal and then a couple of clicks later, that player's that team that you've accepted a deal from. You can reject those deals. You're more than welcome to reject those deals. Now, obviously, it's part of the club's mindset to kind of go, hey, this is a good move for you. I don't know if you're going to play enough here, but this is a good move for you. You're not making the money back that you spent on Richy. I really, really doubt that, obviously there was 50 plus 10? I very much doubt he's even triggered many of those pay-ons, maybe a couple of million, but we haven't, I wish we had to give that 60 million. It means that he's done a lot, but he hasn't. And he's not, I mean, look, let's have a quick look, from Richarlison. Just want to have a look at, where is he? By the way, congratulations. Obviously, they're expecting Ian as partner. I mean, nearly 60 million. He's played 173 minutes this year. He played 64 minutes in the Europa League. He's played 21 minutes in the EFL Cup, the League Cup. He's played 88 minutes in the Premier League within 5 games. 1 goal, 1 assist in that time. That's awful. I forgot how bad it was. Cheers, of course. Name is to upgrade. Well, let's see about Mickey and what he's doing. Hey, Petrossi, how are you? I need 2 to 3 players conservatively. Left back, centre back, Vestal, left or right, and if sell Biss a replacement. Well, I don't think they'll. You won't be selling Biss in January. It'll be a summer move. He has some use. As much as you may love Biss or not, he has some use, at least this year. The one thing about Biss is he misses time for suspensions here and there. He doesn't really miss time from injury. I guess that's the one thing. He's a fit enough body to at least give you some minutes, that you're not having to play Archie Gray across 8 different positions all in one game. Hey, I've done that. We had this from him in summer. Richie's last chance. If he doesn't perform or gets another injury, sell. So look, there has to be a conversation. I think. Look, he will have to the end of the season. I don't think Spurs are going to be selling him in January. He has to the end of the season. I really do think, and I think that's when the club go, mate, it's just not going to happen. And if he wants to get in that Brazil World Cup squad, this is the other thing. He wants to get in that Brazil World Cup squad, which is the summer of 2026, right? Then you can be like, look, you want to be in that squad? You're not going to be playing enough here to get in that squad. Just saying. And he'd probably get in that squad if he played in Saudi. We need to get Richy playing so we can add more value to. Yeah, I think his value's torched, to be honest. I think his value's torched. The only one that seems to value him is Saudi. In Europe, you'd get maybe 10, 15 million max. You're not getting big money out of him because he's just never fit. Whereas in Saudi, where the intensity is maybe not as high, he's not going to get injured as much. I don't know how often they play, but he's not playing as much as he does in the Premier League, or as frequently as he does for a Premier League club. It's not a bad thing in that regard. Hey, Adiz, mate, how are you? Not too bad. At your girlfriend's family's house. Oh, very nice. Richie doesn't want to go to Saudi. He wants to play in the World Cup. Like, what's the point? He gets injured pretty much every time. Apparently, Newcastle are looking for Richie. Newcastle need to sell before they buy. They're no help to us in this regard, unfortunately. Wonder if there's any Japanese talent Ange might be looking at. Don't think so. Feel bad for Richie, but we have to offload him due to injuries. Morning, Adventurous, mate, how are you? Richie is currently valued at 35 million euros. I would not value him at anything near that. You're talking about basically 30 million pounds. I'd value him about a third of that. I'd value him about 10 million. I thought, I was thinking, 40 million from Saudi in the summer. Now I'm thinking, how the hell is anyone going to want to spend that on him? You wouldn't. You'd be foolish to spend that money on him. And he's an injury-prone player. He can't stay fit. He cannot stay fit. He comes back 15 minutes. Next game, he's injured. I like Richie. I think Richie's a good player, but again, like I've always said, you cannot carry passengers when you're already an injury-prone team. They're carrying Regulon. That's a squad spot gone. By the way, he gone. January. Move him. Buy him out. Don't care. Pack his bags for him. You've got Jed Spence at right back. You're not playing. What's going on there? You're carrying 2 players already in a 25-man squad that you're not using. Move them. Replace them with players that you're going to use, and you'll be better for it. You reckon we get David in January? Well, the only way you'd get David in January is if you can agree a deal with him and then Lille come to the table. But looking at Lille, they're 4th in Ligue 1. They're 3 points behind second, who's Marseille. Having a good season so far. Decent season. When you look at the Champions League, they play Sturm Graz at 5:45 tonight. Before any other game is played, they could be as high as second in the Champions League, by the way. They'd have to win by, I think, by 5 goals. But if they were to win, let's say, 2-0, they'd be minimum 6th, potentially 5th for that. So I can see why they wouldn't sell him, because they go, even though we can make, let's say, 8 to 10 million out of him right now, doing better in the Champions League, if we were to get past another round of the Champions League, that's huge money. Yeah, making sure that we guarantee Champions League football for next year through the league is huge money. I can see them going, don't care. You can go in January. You can go in the summer. Bye-bye. And that's why I don't think we'll sign him. We'd be lucky to get 10 million for Richy unless he starts playing regularly, got injured in training, painful. The price of strikers are high, hence he will always be overvalued. Yeah, but the problem is I don't see him being overvalued by, crazy money. I think the reason why the players get injured so often is because of the intense training and our style of play. I don't think as much. I don't think maybe it helps at times, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone thinks. Well, we've been linked to Angel Gomez, Andy Gomez, not Andy Gomez, Angel Gomez. We've been linked to Angel Gomez. Obviously, he will be a free in the summer as well. And they were talking about, are Spurs wanting to do a double dip? He plays a bit of 6, but he's not a dominant 6. He's not going to destroy a midfield like a Rodri does, by the way. I mean, he's like 5'6". Because I like Angel Gomez. He's in the England squad. He's not a bad player, but he is 5'6". I mean, I'm not even a tall person, but he's smaller than me. Swap deal with Richy. Richy won't go to Lille. Richy will be twerking for a bigger club, which I get, but it won't happen. Could Richy go back to Everton? Could, but Everton can't afford it. Angel Gomez and Cardoso for the Angel Gomez and Cardoso for what for the price of one Cardoso would be interesting. Look, I mean, it's another body. Bissouma will be gone in that regards. Hell, is Bentancur gone? Bentancur is not guaranteed to be here. Because if you think about it, Bentancur's got 1 year left on his contract come summertime. There's been no new updates around the contracts being talked about. Let's be realistic here. There could be a situation when Bentancur's gone in the summer. You can think, how old is Bentancur? Bentancur, here we go. 27. He'll be 28 at the start of next season. So he's only a year younger than this. I'm just saying, that could be on the cards as well. We need to be aware of that. I love Bentancur. I think if all of our midfielders, Kulu, Madison, Bergvall, Gray, whoever, they all play 10 out of 10 at max capacity, Bentancur is better than all of them by a good distance. He's better than Kulu. He's better than Madison. He's better than all of them, right? I mean, the fact that he can play, in theory, all 3 of those positions as well, it shows he is way more versatile and valuable than all the rest of them, right? But he's going to be at the end of his 20s. And you probably could get another 4 years out of him, but this would be where his value is at his absolute peak. So let's just, he might get a new deal. They've talked about it before, but let's not rule it out that he could go. Everton could afford 10 million, surely. Have you seen their stadium? It's already leaking. I don't know if you guys have seen Everton Stadium. It's already leaking, and it's not even opened. No way, Gomez is in the 6. I'm not saying, well, Gomez does play 6. I would prefer him at the 8, but he can take the ball off the back 4 very, very well. Very, very well. Better than a lot of people can, actually, I would say. Our midfield will be completely different next season. Well, I think there's a situation there. Let's say Kulu and Madison are your 10s, right? Okay, I can work with that. You're Archie Gray and Bergval. Well, let's see if Bergval's there next season. Right this second, Bergval might go on loan, but let's say they are. Let's say that they are there next season. Pape's going to be there. You'd expect, right? So right now you're sitting on 5 players, and in theory for the midfield, you probably want 7 or 8. 7 or 8, maybe 7, right? Let's say Biss is gone. So now you're down to 5. Let's say Ben Scholes are going to be in that squad. Now you're on 6. Cardoso, that would be your 7th, right? If Ben Scholes doesn't kick on, you're going to probably say he's gone in the summer to on loan. Again, we need to fully back this idea that give players that Ange can trust, because then you can rotate and you keep players fitter. Then is it Angel Gomez that he wants, for example? Okay, fine. I can get on board with that. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just speculating. Ace off him, mate. How are you? It's been a long time. Is Cardoso only good? Looks solid, yeah. Ben Scholes on midfielder, agreed. But that's the case in the midfield. That's a tough one. The more I think about it, the more I hate to make that decision. If I had to put, if you gave me a quid, gave me £1, and you said Bissouma to stay or go, where you putting it? I think Bissouma's gone in the summer. I think he's gone. There was talk about him last summer going, I think this would be the summer he's gone. Unless he absolutely plays out of his skin between coming back from suspension onwards. I mean, he'll play tomorrow, because it'll be like, well, you might as well play tomorrow. You're not playing at the weekend. You play tomorrow, then he's back for United in the week. He gets basically a week off, nearly. That's how I'd go. I agree. Ben Scholes is best by far, but Kulo started to look insane. At times, Kulo's insane. Yeah, I just think everyone playing at the absolute maximum, Ben Scholes is still by far the best player in the midfield. I'd like to change Madison for someone. I don't see that happening, just because of. I don't know how long his contract is. How long is Madison's contract? $2028. He got a 5-year deal. Good on him. 3 years left on his contract. It's going to be a hard one to move if you are to move him, obviously. Are there any players on loan that would make the team next season? Vuskovic supposedly will be within the first team. They'll look at Ashley Phillips for sure. Abbott won't. Matthew Craig won't. Solomon, they sell Solomon, surely. Solomon's looked decent at Leeds at times. So if you can get a few quid, you sell him. 5 mil, sell him. Get him moved. Brian Hill, he'll be gone. He's doing well at Girona, by the way. He is doing well. But he'll be gone. Valise, let's see what happens with Valise. Scarlett, I don't see it. Who else is out on loan? I think that's pretty much everyone. With Divine, I don't see it. But Vuskovic and Phillips maybe are the most likely of the two. Who would be the best left back in 6 that we can get in January realistically? Dorgu would be the guy for left back for 6. I don't see us going for a 6. I don't really see it. Normally HRT 7 is very liable, but I was shocked when he said Bergval was Ange's worst signing. He's come from the Swedish league and he's had 3 months or 4 months. Let's give him room to breathe. You can see there's talent there, but he plays 5 to 10 minutes here and there, even if he plays out of his skin, I don't see him staying. That's fair enough. I have a feeling a Dragusian might leave, especially with the youngsters that are looking good. Well, Vuskovic has looked good, but he'll be 18, so you'll be relying on an 18-year-old. Phillips has his moments, but again, you are untested. You have no idea how they're going to play. So I could see them maybe both being with the squad as well as Dragusian, but we'll see. Hey, Pete, how are you, mate? Vuskovic is a beast. Absolutely. I can't see Scarlett personally. We're talking about the players out on loan, Neil. We're talking about players out on loan. Bergval and Gray be very good players. We didn't pay much for Bergval and he's a project. Yeah, I don't even think we paid 10 million for him. you know. So look, we'll see on him. We'll see on that side of things. But I think, yeah, if we're quick roundup, I think Richarlison, we need to look to try and move in the summer. Get what he can now. I think, you know, all the while he's been injured, his market's just doing this, and it is plummeting. And, you know, Everton might come back in for him. But then you've got to hope Everton stay up, because if they don't stay up, he ain't going back there. What if Watford come up? Would he go back to Watford maybe? I don't know. Obviously, look, Timo won't be here next season. I think they won't move him on in January, but he won't be here next season. So you're going to be looking at left wing. Left wing needs to be, obviously, I know Yang. Let's see what we got. We see what we got there. But left wing might be the season you go big. Unless Yang obviously tears it up, then you go, oh, hang on a second. But it might be the time you go big. Right wing, got Johnson. You're going to need someone else play there as well. I mean, that's just the attacking line. That's like 3 players already in attacking 3 that you need, minimum. Obviously, Mikey, let's see what Mikey gives as well. It's not all about Yang, Mikey as well. Midfield, like I said, you know, if you're moving Bissouma, let's say you bring Cardoso in, you still might need another one. You know, like I said, Ben's caught 1 year left on his contract come next summer. If he's not been extended by next summer, he's gone. Defensively, Jesus Christ, defensively, we need what? We need another keeper, another centre-back, a right-back, and a left-back. Oh, I mean, we're talking about, look at that. Like, I've just rattled off, we need 10 more players. Jesus, that's painful. Verbally had a really good cameo. Verbally had really good cameos in the last 2 matches. Good turns through balls. He's developing nicely. Bergvall, sorry. All right, I'm with you now. Richy to Man United. I don't think they're cutting staff bonuses from £100 to a 40 quid M&S voucher. They're doing that. They can't afford to buy Richarlison. Don't need to sell Richie for much, just to be PSR neutral. I don't know what it would be to be neutral on that, how much it would be. Yeah, we need a new team. You should name another 23-player squad. You did say we need 10 players. They'll have to buy a big name next season for both midfield and forward. Would Eze like to move finally? I think Eze would have happily moved in the summer, but it was down to Spurs actually taking themselves off the table for Eze. Cost, wages. I don't want Tony. No, personally, Jessica, I don't want Tony. He's in Saudi. He's on great money. He's on 250 odd grand a week, no doubt. Let him stay there and enjoy his money. No, all the power to him. Let him stay there, personally. Like I said, Jonathan David might be the play. And I don't hate the Jonathan David move. If they go, we've got him on a free. We like him. We're going to buy Cardoso, 25 million. 2 good players. I like that. Good. I like that. But they're going to, I would want them to go, but we're going to go buy a keeper for 25 million now as well. Okay. I mean, Vicario costs 18 million, so it's not you have to spend crazy money, but let's say they spent 20 million. You know, if then they go, you're going to go buy a right back now. I mean, Porro costs 38 million. We're going to buy a right back for 25 million. You're like, okay, we're spending some money in some of these positions. That would be nice, but I don't personally see it. Yang is a really talented youngster. Really talented youngster. The irony is that he has that market potential, but he is a really talented youngster. He's one of the best players in that league at the age of what he is amazing. We have to remember a complete rebuild is only halfway through. A real rebuild starts with bringing in youth. Next step, strengthen the first team. Yeah, this window I think is really important for Johan Lang. By the way, I know I've been rambling for a long time, so apologies. I will wrap up in a second, but Johan Lang needs to nail it this January. You know, last January, 1st January, we kind of gave him a pass because obviously he didn't really have the runway into that January. Summer, he did really well getting rid of players, but didn't do enough in terms of bringing the right players in for now. This January, he has to deliver players for now, not just players for the summer. If he goes, Jonathan David, we've got him for the summer, brilliant. But I'm still going to sign 2 or 3 players this window for this team now. I'd be like, Lang's killing it. But until I see it, we'll have to wait and see, you know. Osimhen wants crazy money, and Napoli want crazy money as well. Do you think Conte's going to want to sell that striker to us for anything cheap? He's going to, you know. I don't think we need a player like that with Solanke. 2 very different style strikers as well. I like the Jonathan David move. I don't think he's a bad player whatsoever. And actually, if you look at the striker situation, you go, well, there's our 2 strikers. It's better than most teams in the Premier League if you've got those two strikers, you know? That is why Levy needs to redeem himself, but not trying to amortize player like an Eze. I think is I don't mind him not buying an Eze if there was like, yeah, we had these plans in place and we got these players. I'd go, okay. But I don't think he truly had that plan B, C, and D. It was plan A, panic. Oh, youngsters. We'll get youngsters. We can sell everyone on the youngster dream. January's vital, absolutely. Need first team players, absolutely. Young's won so many awards this season. Looks like he looks really talented, Yang. I'm really excited to see him. And he'll be here probably in the next few days. He joins mid-December to train ahead of January. So he's actually more ready to go when it comes into January. But I pray us as fans that we're just patient. Allow him to make mistakes. Allow him to have a few bad performances and just stick with him. You know, Odebear, you know, we saw him take on a player a few times. And we all went, oh, that's very lovely. And then he might have a bad game and you saw people turn on him straight away. So as long as we're patient with him and give him time to breathe, same with Bergvall, give him time to breathe, give him a whole season, then we'll go from there. 2 new signs of January and not bargain basement for the future. Like I said, don't mind the bargain basement if it was a Jonathan David for summer as well as players for now. I can get on board with that. But will it be that is another question. £20 million for Richy to be PSR neutral. I don't see us even getting 20 million for him, Harper. Yeah, Baz, I agree, mate. 60 million for Osman, but is what? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Nico, I like Nico. Rafinha's not leaving Barca. He's probably their best player at the moment, which I was not expecting. So fair play. Hold my hands up. I was wrong on Rafinha. Nico Williams, we can be linked to Nico Williams, but wages being as what they are, the fee that's going to cost, Spurs will have to break their wage structure, and Levy doesn't want to do that. Hence why, as much as I want him, it's not going to happen. Young is very good, but he's time to adapt. Agreed. It just seems Levy's negotiating always seems to be drive any chance of signings because it does decide to win the battle. He must get a little kick out of it. Oh, look at that. Knocked $2 million off that deal. Oh, I am him. It's like, you are an idiot. Not always, obviously, but in that regard, he would be. Super great video, mate. Very enjoyable. Yeah, that's absolutely fine, mate. No reason yet. We should let Werner go. Well, these Leipzig have to play ball to let him go. It's not something that we can just cancel. Leipzig have the power in that deal, not us. Tammy Abraham, no. You want to talk about injury prone? He has injury issues as well after last year. All right, last thing. Hang on 1 second before I wrap up. Jonathan Davis played 23 times already this season. He's played over 1,800 minutes. He's got 20 goal contributions in those 23 games. I mean, just to give you a comparison, Tammy Abraham has played 15 games where he's played 676 minutes. So he's basically played a third of the football. Jonathan David might be the guy. Lookman looks decent. Mbuemo, I like Mbuemo. You need to look at Y Scout. When is Ange's presser? It'll be at probably 1 o'clock-ish, no doubt, next couple of hours. I got to go as well, absolutely. David will get signed, not too expensive. Well, he'd be free. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me this morning. Go and enjoy the rest of your day. Stop watching me. We've been on live for ages. Stop watching me. Go and enjoy the rest of your days. And I'll speak to you all very soon to chat a little bit more nonsense about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Peace.